Hey guys, it's Jimin's Pinky Toe. Today I decided to make a video that's not related to any specific idol or group, mostly because there really is not much going on in the K-pop space right now that I personally care to talk about. Also, I have not made a video in quite a while, and since we have entered a new year, I figured this would be a good time to do something a little different. So today's video is called Things I Wish K-pop Idols Did Better. This is basically a pet peeves list or a constructive criticism list, however you want to frame it. Anyways, that's enough rambling for the intro. Let's get into the video. The first thing I wish K-pop idols did better is lip syncing. Now this might surprise some of you, but I actually don't mind when idols lip sync, when it's appropriate. For example, on music shows, I don't really care. Lip syncing is expected at this point. Even at award shows sometimes, I get it. But if you are going to do it correctly. 90% of groups lip sync, that's the reality. It's not shocking. But when you choose or are forced to have that microphone turned off, I expect an actual performance. I want to see effort. I want to see energy. I want to see commitment. Because once you remove live vocals from the equation, you are eliminating one of the hardest parts of your job. You no longer have to worry about breath control, pitch, or vocal stability. So, if you are lip syncing, there is absolutely no excuse for giving 50% energy on stage. If you are lip syncing, you should be performing like your life depends on it. Otherwise, it becomes awkward very fast. I feel like in some ways lip syncing is actually an art form that a lot of idols don't know how to do properly. I see so many idols barely moving their lips. Sometimes they miss a lyric entirely. Sometimes they close their mouth too early or too late. Sometimes the timing is completely off, and once you notice it, you cannot unsee it. But my biggest pet peeve, and this one truly makes my soul leave my body, is how idols handle high notes while lip syncing. There are two extremes, and both are terrible. On one end, you have idols who do entirely too much. They are acting like they are belting their lungs out, veins popping out of their neck, face contorted, eyes bulging. And it's embarrassing. We know the microphone is off. Why are you acting like you are summoning demons with that note? On the other end, which is just as bad, you have idols who barely open their mouth for a supposed high note. They slightly part their lips, give nothing, and completely fail to sell the illusion. There is a perfect middle ground. A sweet spot. You have to show effort without overacting. You have to sell power without looking ridiculous. You have to convince the audience without insulting their intelligence. And most idols simply don't know how to do that. So if you are going to lip sync, commit to it. Learn how to move your mouth properly. Learn how to sell emotion. Learn how to perform like the microphone is actually on, even when it's not. Because if you are going to take away live vocals, the performance itself needs to make up for it. Otherwise, you are just standing on stage doing choreography while your own song plays in the background. And that's not impressive. Lip syncing should be used to enhance a performance, not expose how little effort someone is giving. I really wish idols were more online in the sense that they actually understood how TikTok works. And I get it. Most idols are based in Korea, so their For You page is obviously going to be different. What is trending in Korea is not always what is trending overseas, so naturally they are not seeing the same videos, jokes, or formats that the rest of us are seeing. But still, have you ever seen an idol do a challenge that's huge internationally and they are just not doing it right? Like they clearly don't understand the context, the joke, the timing, the dance, or the humor behind it at all. Like, do you guys know what I mean? It's like they learned it off a bullet point list instead of actually understanding why it's funny or why it works. I feel bad saying this, but sometimes watching idols use TikTok feels like watching your parents try to be trendy. The effort is there, but the execution is painful. And this is not even me blaming the idols fully because a lot of the time they are just doing what they are told. Which brings me to the second part of this problem. Another huge issue is when idols have a release and the company clearly tries to force a TikTok trend. They will simplify the choreography, pick one random move, or create a challenge that's not funny, not catchy, and does not make sense. And then push it aggressively like, okay, this is the TikTok moment. And I know, that's the company. I am aware. I am not stupid, but please, I am begging. Let trends happen organically. Your fans are going to do the dances anyway. They are going to make edits. They are going to create jokes. They are going to latch onto whatever part of the song they like the most. Most TikTok trends happen naturally because people actually enjoy them, not because they were instructed to enjoy them. When you try to manufacture a trend too hard, it becomes obvious. And once it becomes obvious, it stops being fun. Now, this one might sound patronizing at first, but give me a second to explain myself. A lot of the time in K-pop songs, groups and idols will include non-Korean lyrics, whether that is English, Spanish, French, or whatever else. And I cannot help but wish more care was taken to make sure that what they are saying actually makes sense. When it comes to pronunciation, I am way more forgiving. That's not your first language. You are doing the best you can, and accents exist. I am not about to sit here and police how someone pronounces words in a language they did not grow up speaking. But when it comes to the actual words, the phrases, the sentences, you better make sure that what you are saying makes sense, because nothing kills the vibe faster for me than listening to a K-pop song, being fully immersed, and then suddenly an English line comes in. And it does not make sense grammatically, semantically, or conceptually. And obviously, since I speak English, I catch it immediately and it stands out more to me. It's one of those things where I will literally be enjoying the song and then my brain just short circuits like, wait, what? Did nobody in the studio fact check this? Did nobody stop and say, hey, no, that's not it? Like, some examples that immediately come to mind are in aespa's song, Dreams Come True. They sing, you make it feel me good, do you want upside down? First of all, it should be, you make me feel so good or something, and second of all, I still don't know what do you want upside down is supposed to mean. Or like Work by a Tease when they say, gotta make that money, make purse. Make purse? What does that mean? Did they mean like get a purse or something? Maybe they meant make stacks? I genuinely don't know what the intended phrase was supposed to be, and that's the problem. It just pulls you right out of the song. And let me be very clear, this is not coming from a place of English is superior or they need to respect English speakers. That's not what this is, and this is not just English. There are lines in other languages in K-pop songs that are either grammatically incorrect or sound like they were run through Google Translate with zero context. For me, a song should make sense. If most of the song is in Korean and it makes sense, and then you make the conscious choice to add another language, any other language, then I feel like it is your responsibility to make sure that part also makes sense. It shows effort. That's why I don't care nearly as much about pronunciation, because pronunciation takes time, practice, and skill. That's effort. But grammar, sentence structure, word choice, you could have Googled that. You could have asked a native speaker. You could have called someone and said, hey, does this sound natural? Before releasing it to millions of people. And again, I know this is not fully on the idols themselves. This is more on the companies, the producers, the songwriters, the lyricists. There are so many people involved in making a song, but it still grinds my gears, which is why I am including it in this video. Because if a Western pop star like Ariana Grande or Beyoncé released a song and randomly added Korean lyrics that made absolutely no sense, people would be like, what the hell is this? They would be low-key dragged for it or clowned for it. And I'm sure K-pop fans, Korean speakers, hell, maybe idols might even be like, wait, nah, what you meant was blah, 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 you know what I mean? And something like this did kind of happen, like when Jungkook from BTS reacted to K-pop Demon Hunters and caught a grammatically incorrect Korean lyric in Soda Pop. That moment went viral. It made news. And the singer from the movie even came out and praised him for catching it. Because accuracy matters. I am just asking that if you're going to include another language in your song, please make sure it actually makes sense. This one hurts me a little because K-pop concerts in recent years have genuinely lost their spark. And I don't mean this in a back in my day kind of way, but concerts used to feel like events, like something special, something alive, something you could not recreate by just pulling up YouTube or Spotify. Now, a lot of K-pop concerts feel like glorified music shows. Same choreography, same camera-ready facial expressions, same pre-recorded backing track doing most of the heavy lifting. And it's like, why am I here? I have already said earlier that I don't mind lip syncing when it's appropriate. Music shows? Fine. Promotional stages? Fine. Some award shows? Sure. But a concert? Absolutely not. I did not pay my hard-earned money, sometimes hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars, to watch you lip sync to a track I already listened to 100 times a day. That's literally the opposite of why I'm here. I am here for the raw stuff. I am here for the one-time only experience. I want to hear your real voice. I want the cracks. I want the shakiness. I want the moments where you miss a note and laugh it off. That's what makes concerts special. That's what makes them human, because when everything is perfect, polished, and identical night after night, it stops feeling like a concert and starts feeling like a rehearsed product being replayed. And sometimes you can tell the idols themselves are not even having fun. They are just going through the motions. Hit the mark, do the choreo, smile on cue, exit stage left, and I get it. Touring is exhausting. It's brutal. City after city, barely any sleep, constant rehearsals, constant pressure, constant cameras. And I also understand that idols are terrified of making mistakes because the internet is ruthless. One voice crack and suddenly you are trending for all the wrong reasons. But it's a double-edged sword because when you chase perfection so hard, you lose the soul of the performance. As long as you are not messing up every single show and you are genuinely trying your best, I promise you, most fans would rather see you loosen up than watch a sterile, robotic performance. But let's be serious for a second. You are standing in a room filled with some of your biggest fans, people who stream your music, people who buy your albums, people who buy your merch, people who paid ridiculous prices for tickets, people who waited in line for hours, sometimes days, just to see you for a few hours. You owe them something, not just perfection, but presence. Make it special. Make it feel unique. Make it feel like this night mattered. Because when a concert feels interchangeable with every other stop on the tour, it stops being memorable. Concerts should feel alive. They should feel messy, emotional, loud, unpredictable, not like a recycled performance you could have watched from your couch. Turn the microphones on. Walk around, interact with fans. Stop just dancing and start performing instead. And when performing, don't do it to the stage cameras, start doing to the fans instead. Let loose a little. Because at the end of the day, concerts are supposed to be an experience, not just another item on a schedule. I really wish idols were better at this because body image and food are such sensitive topics. And yes, I know, Korea's approach to dieting, weight, and body standards is very different from a lot of other places. I understand that. I'm aware of the cultural context, but still, damn, the way some idols talk about these things so casually without keeping in mind that it isn't that simple for most people and can be harmful. You'll be watching a show or a vlog and an idol eats one meal, one dessert, and suddenly it's, I have no self-control. I ate too much. I suck. I need to work out. I should skip my next meal. That kind of language does real damage, especially when your audience can be made up of younger fans and people who already struggle with body image and food. And I want to be very clear here, eating disorders are complex. And I don't want to make it seem like if a K-pop fan has an ED, it's the idol's fault. This isn't about blaming idols for that. Many idols do struggle with disordered eating themselves or full-blown eating disorders. So a lot of what they say is just their internal dialogue coming out naturally without much thought. But that's exactly the point. They need to start thinking about it. Speaking personally, I've struggled with an eating disorder for most of my life. It's something I go in and out of, something I constantly have to manage. And K-pop does sometimes play a role in that. Now, let me be clear again, that's not any idol's fault. I could get triggered just by seeing an idol whose body I want and thinking, damn, I should start over working out again, or I should start under eating so I can look like them. This is my issue. That's something I have to deal with 100%, and again, I know it's not their fault for being skinny. But then it crosses a different line, because if I'm watching a vlog and that same idol, who already fits insane beauty standards, starts talking about how they feel fat and gross because they ate a piece of cake, that's no longer neutral. At that point, idols do have a responsibility to be more careful with what they say, because comments like that will affect people like me. And I know I'm not alone in that. And I hate to sound hella woke here because, again, eating disorders are not simple. This isn't about policing every word or pretending idols don't struggle. It's about awareness. This has been an issue in K-pop for years. It's not new. The language around food, weight, and bodies is still incredibly toxic and normalized. A really clear example of this, I'll use Youngwon from ENHYPEN. He was on a live with fans, ate a chocolate bar or something similar, and immediately started talking about how bad he felt for eating it. Which, sure, I get it. I understand where that feeling comes from. But then he literally dropped down on the floor and started working out on live. Like, dead ass. He literally just started to do push-ups and sit-ups mid-live. It's just like you couldn't have done that after the live ended. You had to show your fans that eating a chocolate bar is that bad. And here's the thing, 99.9% of us are not idols. We are not on stage 24/7. We are not in one of the most unforgiving industries in the world. We do not have those same expectations or standards placed on us. So I get their stress, we're all humans. But watching and listening to idols talk about certain way about their bodies or food or dieting or whatever the fuck, like that does not make most people feel good at all. It makes them feel worse about themselves. I'm not asking idols to never talk about food or their bodies again. I'm not asking them to hide their struggles or pretend everything is fine. I'm asking for consciousness. Think before you speak. Understand who is watching. Understand the impact your words have. Because when millions of people are listening to you, even casual comments aren't casual anymore. This one feels so stupid to even bring up, like it's such a nitpick, but I swear it bothers me every single time, so it's making the list. Idols need to get better at screaming to hype up the crowd during award show performances. I notice this constantly, and it genuinely pisses me off. You'll have an idol suddenly yell something like, "Come on, MMA. Let's go, mama. Make some noise," or whatever the fuck. But they do it at the worst possible time, in the most awkward way imaginable. And it's like, at that point, just don't do it. Because yeah, I see you trying to hype up the crowd, and I respect the effort, but you sound scared to do it. Or the scream has zero power behind it, or it's not even loud enough, or the timing is so off. And suddenly I'm experiencing first, second, and third-hand embarrassment all at once. There is genuinely an art to hyping up a crowd. Normally, you do it at a proper moment, like right before the first or second chorus, before a beat drop, or right before a dance break. You do it with confidence, with power, with certainty in your voice. You commit to it. And you say something that actually works. Not something overly cringy, not something awkwardly phrased, just something clean and hype. But instead, what we get half the time is the most awkward member yelling something random while the other members are still singing their lines. Or even worse, they'll fully stop the performance just so someone can scream into the mic. Ew. Nah, please stop. If it doesn't feel natural, if it's killing the momentum of the song, or if you're not confident enough to really sell it, then it's genuinely better to just let the performance speak for itself. So yeah, this one is minor, it's petty, and it's not that deep. But bad crowd hyping moments can completely pull me out of an otherwise great performance, even though it's for a second. Timing, confidence, and commitment matter. Either do it right or don't do it at all. So, those were just some things I personally wish K-pop idols did a little better. None of this is that deep, it's not hate, it's just pet peeves and observations from someone who is easily annoyed, I guess. Feel free to let me know in the comments what you wish idols did better, or if you disagreed with anything I said, just be normal about it. Anyways, welcome to 2026. This toe is now out.